All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel, guys. Today we have a New York Knicks video. It's been a couple of weeks, I want to say, since my last Knicks video. Excited to be back. I love covering the New York Knicks. I feel like when the Knicks are good, basketball is in a good place. Like, I just root for the Knicks because if the Knicks are good, I feel like the NBA is in a very good spot. So you have... they just beat a LeBron-less Lakers, but, you have a struggling Knicks team right now. They haven't really had the best 5 or so games. It was a good win against the Lakers. They were just without LeBron James. Tough loss to the Chicago Bulls, but they're very good at basketball. Pretty ugly win against the Houston Rockets. Very ugly loss against the Orlando Magic, and then another very ugly win against the Indiana Pacers. So they're winning basketball games. They're still finding ways to beat teams that they're supposed to beat. They're still finding ways to beat good teams like the Lakers. I know a lot of people are going to disagree with that statement, but the Lakers are a very talented basketball team with or without LeBron James. So 10-8. But what's next? What's next? Before we get into this video, guys, if you enjoy it, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. It is greatly appreciated. I want to put a primary emphasis on Kemba Walker because when Kemba Walker first decided to go to the New York Knicks this past offseason, I thought it was going to be a very good move. I thought it would be a phenomenal move for the Knicks to get a starting point guard and then deploy Derrick Rose as your sixth man. But boy, oh boy, was I wrong. I mean, Kemba Walker last year, we have his stats here, 20 points per game, 4 rebounds, and 5 assists. Sorry, career. So you're getting about a career 20-point per game player. And I understand Kemba Walker is up there in age. 31 years old, not the youngest, but he's definitely not the oldest. Kemba started the year off for the Knicks playing relatively well. In the last 10, let me tell you his splits. 39% from the field, 27% from downtown, and only 9 points and 3 assists. Now, on the season, he's only averaging 11.5 points per game and 3 assists, but he's also averaging 43 from the field and 40% from downtown. So, the start of the season, I see box score games from Kemba Walker, and I'm like, okay, I'm glad the Knicks got a good, serviceable point guard to help give them some more depth. It wasn't until I started watching more Knicks games that I'm like, I don't think he's really helping them. I really do not think he is helping them that much. Do you start Derrick Rose? Do you start Kemba Walker? I think Derrick Rose. I mean, for me, Derrick Rose is a fully capable NBA starter. It's not like he's got to get 33 minutes every single night. You can play Kemba Walker more minutes if you want. But Derrick Rose can still start. He can still finish these games out. Derrick Rose does finish these games out. If Derrick Rose played against the Los Angeles Lakers last night, the Lakers I highly doubt would get within, within 2 points, 4 points. I mean, the Lakers really came back in last night's game. I don't think that would have happened with Derrick Rose. Derrick Rose's defense it's extremely underrated. His ball handling, his playmaking, his finishing, his shooting. Derrick Rose is vastly underrated right now just because obviously it had all these injuries. But Minnesota, Cleveland, he didn't really Detroit. He wasn't really in the media in any of those places. He was balling out in Detroit. He put up 17 points per game for him that season. But since he was stuck in Detroit rebuilding, they didn't have Cade Cunningham yet, no one really realized Derrick Rose was balling out. It wasn't until last year in the playoffs where it was like, okay, Derrick, because Julius Randle wasn't stepping up. It was like, okay, Derrick Rose, he still got it. He still got gas left in the tank. So what do you do about Kemba Walker? I look at guys like Emmanuel Quickley, who last night I think really stepped up. Emmanuel Quickley, he brings a jolt of energy. Now, granted, he makes a lot of mistakes, as all young players do. Sometimes his shot selection is a little Sometimes his decision-making is a little But he's a young player in his second year. What else do you expect? perfection. You don't even get perfection from a superstar. So steadily building with Emmanuel quickly. He's coming into his own. I love his confidence. He has so much confidence in his shot. You could tell he really worked on his jump shot, his three-point shot. You could tell he really worked on his game this past offseason because he is looking extremely confident whenever the ball is in his hands this year. And I love to see it. I love to see, even if the ball isn't going in, you want to have that confidence in such a young player. So do the Knicks become a better team if Derrick Rose is inserted into the starting lineup? Kemba Walker to the bench? Possibly. Possibly. But I don't want to say it's just Kemba Walker because, as I told you, statistically, Kemba started the season with good shooting percentages. So, yeah, maybe you're not getting 20 points per game, which the Knicks weren't expecting 20 points per game out of Kemba Walker. But I think Kemba's defense as well, it's a little too suspect to just be a reliable playoff starter, if you get what I'm going at. So it's like, if the Knicks in the playoffs are going to just start Derrick Rose and finish with Derrick Rose and have Derrick Rose be their main point guard like last year, why not just start that now and throw Kemba on the bench and be like, you can be our Schroeder, the Celtic Schroeder, you can be our Jordan Clarkson. Like, listen, Kemba, you could literally, you can control the bench unit. You can put up 15 points per game, and that is not an unreasonable thing to say. That's not an unreasonable goal, 15 points per game off the bench. For Kemba Walker, 20 point per game career? I don't think so at all. So, who knows what Tom Thibodeau is going to do? Who knows what he's going to do? I do imagine at some point that's what's going to happen. But they do have a good amount of guard depth. They have Evan Fournier, R.J. Barrett, Alec Burks Alec Burks. Did he even miss a shot the other night? I don't think he missed a shot when they were playing the Rockets or the Bulls. You have a lot of good talent on this team, and then it goes even deeper than that. Obviously Julius Randle, but you have guys like Mitchell Robinson and Nerlens Noel who are extremely underrated. The Knicks, what makes them so tough to beat on any given night is just their toughness, especially on the defensive end, specifically in the paint. Julius Randle, Mitchell Robinson, you could even throw Taj in there if you want. Nerlens Noel, Obi Toppin, who I love his energy. Obi Toppin comes into a basketball game and the energy shifts immediately. And he's on the rise offensively right now. That was a big concern for him last year was, yeah, Obi's cool, but there was nothing there really. There was especially no offense. Well, this year, you're starting to see it all come together. There's a reason he was so good in college at Dayton. There's a reason he was drafted. R.J. Barrett, what did he shoot last year? 43-40, 44-40. He shot 40% from downtown. He's shooting pretty poorly right now. We can actually pull it up. So it's not just Kemba Walker. You have R.J. Barrett averaging less than 15 points per game. He's shooting 23% from downtown in his last 10, only 31 from the field. But on the season, he's only shooting 39% from the field and 32% from downtown. So it's I think the Knicks are they're just going to continuously get better. They're one of those teams that they're going to mature like a fine wine. They're going to get better as the season progresses. And they're getting these ugly wins, but they're the 6th seed in the East, 2nd in their division, and a win is a win. A win is a win. It does not matter. Even if you're beating the lowly Rockets, who are on a disgusting losing streak, that's not what you focus on at the end of the season. You're like, oh yeah, that's a W. That's a W on the final 82-game stretch. So the Knicks team, I like what they're cooking with, especially in the next couple of years. I really like what the Knicks are cooking with in the next couple of years. Can they win a championship this year? Technically, yes, they can win a championship. I don't think it's going to happen unless, several things change. You have a couple breakout players. You hit a really nice hot streak. You bring in, a new addition. I don't think that the Knicks will get a championship this year. I don't think that they'll be in contention for a championship. I don't see them making the Eastern Conference Finals as of right now. But that is just as of right now, and that is just my prediction based on what I've seen through the first 18 games for the Knicks. So that's it for today, guys. If you enjoy it, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Appreciate all you guys watching today's video. Happy Thanksgiving, and I'll see you guys later.